Hi, this is John O'Brien with California Credence at californiacredence.com. We are located in Modesto, California. If you looked at my YouTubes, you might have seen performances done by our band. And if you're really observing the videos, you'll notice that there are backing tracks that are helping us out. Now we keep the backing tracks subtle. They cannot stand on their own. So today what we're going to do is we're going to create a backing track from the ground up. A couple of things you're going to need is an account with Karaoke-Version, that's karaoke-version.com, and the other is a downloadable file called QPAX, and you'll see why those are very important when you're creating your backing tracks. So without further ado, let's start creating a backing track. Okay, so to get started on our tracks, we want to go to, like I said, Karaoke-Version. And so we're just going to go to Karaoke-Version. And that's going to take us to the website. And I'm going to go to downloading something. Now, I'm going to be working on the song Pontoon because I'm going to do two things at once. I'm going to create a backing track for our band, and I'm going to do a training while I'm doing it. But I've already bought the backing track, and I've already paid for it, so I'm just going to use Hard to Handle as an example. I haven't purchased that one. Hard to Handle. And so let's say I have Hard to Handle, not by Tom Jones, by the Black Crowes. So I take this, and then I look at it here, and it's like, okay, I could download these, but that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to go to Custom Backing Track. This thing will start playing automatically. There we go. We don't want that. You'll notice that with each track, you have the beats per measure, the key that it's in. Now, you can change the key if you want to. That will change the pitch. But this algorithm for this key change is very primitive. I would discourage using that if you have a DAW that has a pitch change, because those algorithms are much more sophisticated than this. So you would just do the add to cart, and then you would go ahead and check out. I don't know where my, there's my. So once you add it to cart, that's $3, and you'll have these multi-tracks. Now, I use this as an example of one that's that I haven't purchased yet, just to show you the purchasing process. But since I'm going to be working on Pontoon, these are my files that I have already purchased, and we have to put on a country show, which, hey, you know, whatever, country-wise. So what you have here is you have a bunch of tracks, and these are eventually going to be put into your DAW. So the way that you download each one of them is you solo the track. I don't solo the click because I don't need it. And then I take this and I solo the track. And for example, if I want the drum kit. Now, I believe I've already downloaded the drum kit. I think I downloaded the bass. I may have even downloaded this. So let me just see here. Okay, this is toughy. All right, so we're doing this one, the electric guitar. Something you want to take note of, just for thoughts. See how this is panned? You want to pan this one. You want to make sure that these are all center, in my opinion, unless the stereo field, you can choose the stereo field in your DAW. So I try to be careful about that. Make sure that these are all panned center. Okay, so it looks as if we downloaded all of those tracks, and we should have these all in a folder. And the folder would be on my desktop, and it's not that. Let me see, my desktop, it would be Pontoon. There you are. So it would look something like this. Now, I'll be dumping things into the stems folder. Now I've got these, so generally what you want to do is you want to take this and note that this is a backing track, custom backing track, so these are backing vocals. So what I do is I first go right ahead and I make sure that I call this Pontoon, and then backing vocals, and then we just go, and I believe it's 96 BPM. And so then what I do is I'll take this and so I've got this successfully renamed, and then I'm going to take this name, and then typically what I do is I just right click and I'm going to copy that. So I'm just going to go here, but now I'm going to paste it, and so that I can change that, because I already know that that's bass. And I'm just going to take this and put a little, not a little s, we want a big S. And since this is only one word, it's always good to just kind of copy the one word thing here, and that'll be easier. Come on, there we go. And I'll just go Control C for copy. And so that's bass. This is drums, as you can see, drum. Make sure you remember what track you're overwriting, because I'm going to do this, and I'm going to change this to drum. And so this is lead electric guitar, custom backing track. And we go here, and so I'm gonna just lead electric guitar. So essentially these will all be named respectively. Okay, so these have been renamed. Now it looks nice and tidy and organized. We have the BPM, it's 96 BPM. We have all the respective tracks. So now it's time to start up our DAW. Use Cubase. I use the Pro version, but Cubase artists can do the same. I have Studio One. I have Ableton Live 10. It's important when you start up a new project that the BPM is already set before you import the files. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to import the files. I'm going to import the audio files, and nope, not I Feel Like a Woman. We already did that one. We're going to have a rockin' country party. Everybody's going to love it. And then you have Pontoon, and then I just throw it over here. I usually like to put it around 6. I like to we put it on different tracks. Okay, so we have it on, ooh, that's big. So let's just try to make this a little bit smaller so we can see everything. There we go. So generally what I like to do is I like to have it more like around 6. Okay, so you've imported all your sounds, and I like to turn the click on. You'll barely hear it, or you may hear it pretty loud. So you hear the click. I don't have the accented click because I'm still working on this. What we have to do is we have to take the best thing to do is to take the drum track. Let's say we have the drum track here, and I'm going to make it a little bit larger. And we want to make sure that the one hit. So you can see on here, the way that I have it arranged is that, let's say, for example, I turn this off, right? And I move this, so let's say I had this and it was here. Well, we know that when this thing starts, where is the 1? There it is. The 1 is right there. So we hear the... So we see that that is the 1. So what we want to do is we want to take that one beat, and we want to put it right on beat. I had already done it before, but I'm doing it again just to give you kind of a bird's eye view of how this works. So you once you get this kick drum on the 1 beat, looks like it's about right there. Oops, nope. I got it wrong. We're about right there. So we can see that the 1 beat is right here. So now what you're going to find is you're going to hear that the overall tracks, I keep them all selected so that they all move at the same time. You'll hear. Okay. Now, we've established a timing. Now we've gotten all the tracks in time. They're at 96 beats per measure. Now all we have to do is insert the triggers and the click. So that's the next thing on the menu. I unselect these because we have it. I put this on lock so that we have the lock quantized. And I'm going to create 3 tracks. The different tracks are going to be the marker track. That's one of them. And this will be called structure. Okay, and then the other track is I'm going to create 2 more stereo tracks. The first one we're going to create this. Let's find the bass. I'm just going to take that and I'm going to go Control C and I'm going to name this. This is going to be our click. So we go like this. C-L-I-C-K. Is that how you spell it? Yeah. Okay, and then the next thing is triggers, and I'm going to go Control V, and we're going to call this triggers. Okay. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start going through this song, and the first order of things is to get the structure of the song, and I want to get my marker track going here. And I've got myself my marker. I'm going to add a marker. So what I do is I just go ahead and start playing the song. And then any kind of monumental change you might have here. So that might be the lead vocal. Well, I guess I didn't download the lead vocal. So we're still in a verse. So now we have a chorus coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and tag this. Right there, right at the downbeat. So then as we're going through here, we are just tagging all of these, and then basically what we do after we tag all these, I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Once we tag all of these, then we have over here tracks here. These are different markers. What we have here are different markers, and these are different marker placements. So for example, if I double click here and I put intro, I'm not sure that's what I'm going to do, intro, and then so on and so forth. If I put like 3 was a chorus, and then 2 was a verse, and I would do verse. Now there's a reason for this, and as you see the song structure, the marker track is going to tell you where to put your triggers, and I'm going to go over that in just a second. And I'm going to have the triggers available for download. You'll see the link at the bottom of this video in the comments section, not in the comments section, but in the description. And so what you want to do is go through the whole song. Now I don't want to bore you with this, but I'm going to go through the whole song. I'm going to go ahead and label all of this, and I'll have these all laid out, and then you'll get a chance to see what we're talking about. Okay, now that I've got the items labeled, this is the song structure. We can see, okay, this is where the verse starts, and I've got all these labeled over here. So now I've gotten all the parts of the song structured out so that I know, like for example, if I go here, a chorus is, there you go, yep, and here's the breakdown. If I go to the next one, like if you go, that's the outro. Alright, so now that we have all of that down, I'm going to bring up here, this is our click, and I'm going to bring my triggers up here, and this is a whole different monster now. What we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to establish a click, and with the click, what we're going to do is we're going to get this folder. It's called my triggers, and I will share those with you in the description section. There we are, vocal triggers. Alright, so what I generally like to do is I start with a click, and then with the click I create my own kind of setup here where I have an accent for the first beat, and then I have the respective non-accent for the remaining beats. Okay, and your DAW will have either a group or a glue or combine or whatever your DAW calls it. I just take all of these, and with my DAW, it's a glue function, and then I glue these together. So what I've done, and I've got an accent click, and then I have them glued together. Now you'll notice that it doesn't go all the way to the edge of the next measure, so you got to be careful to make sure that when you glue those together, you have the next measure, so that it encompasses the entire measure. Now we have a click here, so we have this. Okay, now I can kill the click on my DAW, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this thing. Cubase has a, you just go Control D and it just duplicates them, and then what I do is I duplicate a handful of them, and then I highlight them, and then I just go duplicate, 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 and that looks pretty close, and then I just kill that one. Alright, and so there we go. So that now that I see that that's the end of the song, that's where I end my click. So I might want to have a little bit of a lead in here, but anyhow, so what you're going to hear now, you've developed a click that you're going to share with your band, and this is what they'll hear. So now you have the accent, and you have the where the one in the 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be like. The only remaining thing that you have here is now what is the band going to do? How do they know what's going on in the song? How do they know where the song is? So that's where we have the triggers. Triggers come in as a very handy little thing. And so what I like to do is I like to start out. So generally what happens is before it goes to a verse, there will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's the verse. And I'll explain that to you in just a moment here. So I usually have like a 1. I'll put it right here. I know that verse is going to be there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when I take that 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to copy it. And just before each one of those little markers, I'm just going to go ahead and stick that on the measure right before it. And so let's make sure we have that selected. There we go. So we stick it right here. There's a reason. Stay with me. There's a reason for doing this this way. And so we're going through this, and go ahead and paste all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Whoops, I didn't want to enable loop. We don't need that. So here's what we're doing. We're just setting all these 1, 2, 3, 4 till we get through the song. Now, after we get all of these triggers, just getting into the countdown to wherever the change is, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to have the vocal triggers announce where we are in the song, and that's going to be very, very important. So these wording is very important. So let's say we'll start with the end. So here we are at the end. Okay. This is the end of the song. So how are they going to know when, how's your band going to know when the end is? I put it just in the very center of that prior measure, and here's how they're going to hear the end.
End. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So you'll hear the 1, 2, 3, 4 before. So your band knows where that is. So what is that? That's an outro. Okay, let's just throw that in there. Outro. Put it in the very center here. Why not? So I'm going to bring up, this is outro solo. So I'm going to probably do a little tricky thing here. I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to say outro. And the other thing is I want a guitar solo. So I want to say two things here to these guys. So here's how it's going to sound when it comes up to the outro solo.
Outro solo. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So now the guitarist knows to start on the one following this. Okay, so we go to a chorus, and then we're going to continue on with this. There's chorus. And we'll put this in here because that's going to tell us where the chorus is. Now,
Chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. So now you can, I went from the end backwards. You can go from the beginning forwards. So here's your intro, right? So you have this, you'll notice, so you're going to want to say intro and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So I didn't put a 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. So that's easy enough. I'll just go Control V. There's our 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have an intro, and we're going to say at the halfway point. Here we go. This is
Intro. 1, 2, 3, 4.
okay, so it's coming up on a verse, and we're just going to go ahead and put a verse in there. So let's go down to verse, and there's a verse, and let's go on with this. So now what's kind of cool is you have this whole structure here. This is your backing track. Oh, excuse me. Let me start it from the beginning. So you have this song. Okay, so it's counting down.
Intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Verse. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so we got that. Now what we have is we have a backing track with the click. We've got everything is in its place. Everything looks good. There's only one thing missing. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a mono track. I do this in particular because I'm going to put in an announcement. So I need to indicate to this band that I'm in what song are we playing. So that's where I just do something like this, and I go, let me see what the input is. Let's hope that this works. I'm not sure. Pontoon. All right, so I have pontoon. So what I do is I just take that and I'm going to do pontoon, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this track now. The reason I did that is because my microphone only has one input. So if you try to record it on a stereo track, it's going to come out of only one speaker, and that's fairly annoying. Then you have to do a bunch of gyrations to make it come out of both. So I'm done with that track. Let's go ahead and let's remove that track. So here's what you're left with. Okay? Pontoon. That sounds a little quiet. So now what we have is we have the ability to announce the song to the band in their ears, because pontoon, and it's on the trigger track, so it's not going out to the front of house. All this
Intro.
is going out to the front of
1,
house.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I just heard something interesting.
Intro.
No,
1,
it worked.
2,
Okay.
3.
So then all this is routed to the front of house. All this is routed to the ears. So now you have a completed backing track. All you have to do now is export these as stems. But there's just one more thing that I like to do before I do that. With the finished product here, I like to take each track and then I put a maximizer on it. Now, a maximizer is a way of getting the maximum volume out of these tracks. And so that's one of the reasons why I like to get the track to be at its best level. Your band is not typically going to be using all of the tracks. Pontoon. Okay?
Intro.
So this would be
1, 2,
if you didn't
3,
mute any
4.
tracks. But let's say that you're going to be playing live. Well, you
Verse.
probably won't be using
1, 2, 3, 4.
your acoustic guitarist is going to be there. You'll need backing vocals. We don't have a bass player, so we leave that on. Your lead guitarist is going to be there. Your drums are going to be there. The organ, I play keyboards, you better not touch that. And then your rhythm guitarist. So this is what your actual tracks would be putting out to the front of house. Your band is actually going to be playing all the other stuff. But let's say, for example, oh, the rhythm guitarist called and he said he's sick.
Chorus.
And he can't make it. Say,
1,
that's fine,
2,
we don't need you.
3, 4.
Now we have the rhythm guitarist. So that's kind of cool. And then one of the things that's a drag is if your drummer can't make it, you technically can run these.
Interlude.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
With multi-tracker, you can mix all these, so they can all line up. You know, you can mix them exactly how you want them to come out front of
1,
house.
2,
But this is
3,
basically
4.
what you would hear from our band. You'd be hearing the bass and maybe some backing vocals. A couple of effects, maybe. But that's about it. So we have these pontoon click trigger, all of these different sounds. You have the sound effects, you have the guitar, you have the vocals, and everything. So the way that we save these as stems is I go ahead and I'm going to export these as stems. And then so I take this and I go export audio mix down, and then I'm not going to my single. Everybody's DAW is different. Generally, you can export the stems, but something I like to draw attention to is I like to save them as waves and 44 kilohertz, and that's my favorite way to save these. And then what I like to also do is configure this so that it saves only the channel name. Now the reason for that is so I'm not having a bunch of random junk from all of the extra information. It's just going to very cleanly set me up with each one of these stems labeled just as it is. And so that's actually very cool. So then what I would do is I go ahead and export the stems, and we just hit export audio. And let's see here. We can go ahead and overwrite those guys. Okay. So what am I looking at? What I'm looking at is I'm looking at a group of tracks, stems, on my desktop under Pontoon. There is Pontoon. There are my stems, and these are the actual stems. These are in equal length. Oh, that's something that I forgot to mention to you. When you are exporting stems, something that you want to make sure is that this handle encompasses exactly where you want the song to end. And the reason being is you want all of your stems to be exactly the same length. Now, if you want to put them into multi-tracker, you can go back to here, and I generally would put them into my iCloud. And so I go to iCloud, and hopefully I'm logged in. Yes, good evening, John. And then I go to my iCloud, and I go to track updates, because these are newer tracks that I'm doing. And you'll see that I've already, you can create a folder, but then you have Pontoon. So I've already, just for time's sake, I've already uploaded these. Now, the cool thing about it is you're going to want to check out my video on multi-tracker, which is what I replaced Ableton with. And multi-tracker is a very good thing to deploy your stems from. And really easy to use. Watch the video on how to set it up. And then if you're wondering how to route it, there's another video that I have on how to route all of this to your mixer. So basically that's really all of stem creation in a nutshell. I might have an extra piece on this. There's another part that I'm going to be doing where I'm going to show you what would I do if I have a track that doesn't have a consistent rhythm. Let me give you an example of that real quick. So when you're a Karaoke-Version, there is a song that I downloaded that doesn't have a consistent rhythm, and that song would be, let's see, Take Free Ride. Free Ride by Edgar Winter Group. Okay, so, okay. Yeah, whatever. So it says around 123 BPM. Now, if you take, like, let's say Redneck Woman, Here for the Party, Buy My Own Drinks, that's a fairly new country song. So, same as original tempo. Whoa. God. So at any rate, same as tempo. You see how that is? It says the key, but it doesn't say around 78. It says it's actually 78. So that can be a problem. So if you come down here to Free Ride, what are we going to do about this? Tempo is variable around 123. You're going to be facing a problem trying to do what I just got done doing. And I'm going to save how to do that for another video, but it's very easy. All right. Hope everybody has a good day. Feel free to leave me comments. Love to hear from you, and have fun making tracks. And now you're ready to rock the house.